Welcome to the Self-Love Revolution Summit 2016. I'm your host, Sonia Bueno de la Torre, and I hope that this interview helps you on your journey to feel beautiful and confident in a deep and authentic way so that you can create the life you truly desire and deserve. And my guest today, she's a physical therapist, she's a sound and yoga therapist, and an intuitive healer. She is on a mission to uplift our world and to remind us of our essential nature, that we are love. And she does that by integrating her 20-year background in physical therapy with ancient wisdom. And it includes yoga, belly dance, massage, and emotional release body work. She has developed several programs and workshops, and it's my pleasure to welcome and to introduce to you Michelle Alva. Michelle, welcome to the Self-Love Revolution.
Thank you so much, Sonia. Welcome to everybody. I'm so happy to be here.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. And I'm very excited about our interview today because we are going to dive deep into a very important topic. It's about sexuality, sensuality. And before we dive deeper into that, Michelle, why don't you share a little bit about your own personal story and what it led to you to do actually what you do today?
Well, I was raised Catholic and my mom never talked to us about sex. So when I was 14 years old, my first sexual experience was not consensual. And instead of me fighting and resisting this person, I froze and I allowed him to do whatever he wanted, when I was 14 years old. And I was petrified, shame. I held a lot of self-hatred, anger, emotions, and it really traumatized me, but I really wasn't even aware of it until after my divorce, which that happened to me when I was 14. My divorce happened when I was 37. And also something else happened to me when I was 28 that made me realize I was holding that trauma, that event in my body, tissues. And I think that knowingness in my own body that a memory, a traumatic event was stored in my uterus, in my cervix, in my vagina, that knowledge of understanding that we actually do that from an experiential level changed my life because I didn't understand, why is it hard for me to connect? Why does it hurt me when I have sex? And when I released that trauma in my body, when that happened to me when I was 28 years old, I didn't have painful sex anymore. And I didn't even know I was that sex was not painful until after that emotional release happened to me. So that's pretty much the cliff notes of the story.
Yeah. And thank you for sharing that because
people are walking around everywhere and we're holding things that we're not even aware of. And then we have a hard time having healthy relationships and we get frustrated with ourselves. And even we go to therapy, we go to psychologists, but if we don't work in the body and we don't bring awareness inside, we're still not healing 100%. So I love this work that I'm doing, that I'm glad that all this happened to me. Today I'm 42 and looking back on it, it was worth it because it's made me really, really, really know who I am, to know my body, and to have this really amazing perspective of what we are. We really are emotional beings, soulful beings, and the body is holding so much that we can't see,
Yeah.
So it's fascinating.
It's totally fascinating. Yes, and I agree with you. And thank you, first of all, for sharing your story because it's very personal, it's very vulnerable. And I know that a lot of people still are very uncomfortable talking about sex in general. And, there's a lot of shame involved. And I can relate to some of it. I'm 44 and it took me a long time to actually enjoy my sexuality. And it only happened while I was actually working on loving myself because, I hated my body. How can you enjoy sexuality when you hate your body, right?
For me, I realized, and I realized myself how much judgment I had put on myself at that young age. and how judgment of myself, judgment of my own mistakes, how heavy that can affect a person. I think it was really hard for me to feel joy, to feel true happiness, because I was walking around with all this judgment of myself, because I was raised Catholic. So when you're not supposed to have sex until after you're married. So I thought God didn't love. I was ashamed. So I was all alone, feeling really rejected by God, because that was my life, and I didn't do one of the commandments. And as a young person, that was really interesting how I processed that.
Yeah, yeah. And you just mentioned something, I think it's really important to understand that at a very young age, we just have certain beliefs also in our unconsciousness, and we take them and we think, oh, something is wrong with me, right? Something happened to me. And then we feel even guilty. And I work with a lot of women who had sexual abuse, and we think it's our fault on an unconscious level. It makes no sense, basically. But would you say that also those pieces really close us up, and it doesn't really allow us to enjoy our also sexual nature, because we are sexual beings? We wouldn't exist without it, right?
Yeah, I would dissociate when I had sex. I would dissociate. I would leave my body literally and just let the person do whatever they wanted. I wasn't really engaging in that, because what I learned later on is for me to actually be in love and have that exchange of love would mean that I would have also a release of whatever emotions I was holding. So I would have to dissociate, and I was avoiding feeling the pain of what happened for so many years that I couldn't really give myself to that experience of making love, having sex. And I mean, I never masturbated until after my divorce, after I was 37 years old, because that was something else you don't do. I was taught, without my mom ever saying that was bad. She never told me that, but it was her own way of behaving and interpreting things that I saw as a child. You don't touch your genitals, you don't touch yourself. So I think it is important today, I have to say, to masturbate, to pleasure yourself, to know how to make yourself orgasm, because I also look at orgasm as an opportunity to release emotions, to process and release trapped and held feelings. And after my divorce, I happened to become friends with a sex therapist. It's not a mistake. I was attracting people into my life. And this woman couldn't believe that I didn't have a vibrator, that I didn't masturbate. And she said, Michelle, you really need to learn how to pleasure yourself. How can anybody pleasure you if you don't even know your own body and how to pleasure yourself? So I was on this mission, and I literally, the first time I ever gave myself an orgasm, I started crying. First of all, I was there, touching myself. And as that was happening, I was bumping up against all the judgments. Oh my God, is this a sin? What am I doing? Mind you, I'm like 38 years old. And then I had my orgasm. I actually had that experience by myself. And I started crying. I felt so good. But I was like, oh my God, I can't believe, I had to wait my whole life to have an orgasm by myself. And there was like joy, and there was sadness, and like all these different emotions going on while I was having my first orgasm by myself. And I just felt so empowered, and I felt so in love with my body, and I bonded with myself, and I didn't need a man to give me that pleasure. I wasn't seeking that. It was really interesting, because I thought to myself, wow, this is really not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. And I actually felt it was a very sacred thing, because my body's made by God. I'm a divine being. So how can this be bad? How can this be nasty? So all these things just kind of, I let go of all those beliefs that were really keeping me from being able to celebrate my body for myself, by myself. And that was totally different from the programs that I saw.
Of course. Yeah, your background.
Up.
Your background is so different. And I really want to dissect a few things, because I think they're really important. First of all, I know that some people might listen to it and do like, oh, what's she talking about, right? And feel shame. And that's okay. Just be open to, to explore and make your own experiences. Because what you just said, touching ourselves, and it doesn't even have to be only in a sexual way. It's like we are not used to really love ourselves and touch ourselves and love our bodies. So how If you don't do that, that means you are not worth it. It's wrong and it's bad and all the things that you said, right? But how can this be wrong? Because we are created by the Creator, right? And that put our hands on purpose where we can touch ourselves. That's what I say. But I can relate to it. I want to say it took me many, many, many years.
Well, it's something too that I think is really,
yeah, I'm just saying that, it took myself many years. And you said like sometimes, but if you don't know, and you said something really important, and I want to emphasize that, if you don't know how to experience yourself and know what gives you pleasure, right? If you don't know that, you cannot express it and you cannot exchange it, right? And then we might have not a nice experience, and it's such a beautiful experience. So go ahead, Michelle, you was just about to say something.
Well, I just think it's fascinating how we have all these receptors on our chest and our abdomen that help stimulate that love hormone. So now today, I tell a lot of my clients, this is almost every client, to massage their chest before they go to sleep and to touch their chest throughout the day, because literally you're getting that physiological response of increasing the love flowing through your body, the hormone of love. And I was really hard on myself, and literally I've had to train myself to be soft with myself. And I'm still in practice, because sometimes I'll just hug myself and I'll say, you're doing a great job, Michelle. I work with people that have a lot of trauma, sexual trauma, that are holding a lot of emotions, sadness, so I need to be my best friend and there for me, to be able to hold space for people and to not take it in. So I say I'm a waterfall, I'm a river, and the love hormone actually helps us to flow our emotions, to release and process. I'm processing and releasing all day. So that's something people can do, is massage their chest, circles of love over their chest, over their heart, circles of love over their belly, and say to themselves, I love you, you matter to me, I'm your best friend, I'm here for you. And literally every day I do these to myself. And so today my relationship with myself is so much more soft, nurturing, kind, instead of me being mean to myself, like, I can't believe you didn't fight that guy, or I can't believe you didn't tell the police, or, you just sat there. I did the best I could with what I knew at the time. We always are doing that. So it's nice to have that reassurance for ourselves. And nobody can give us that. We have to do it for ourselves so that we really are living from this place of true fulfillment.
Exactly. Thank you for sharing that. And excuse me. And you just mentioned that you do that massage with your chest and the love hormones. Like if someone says, oh, I would like to try that out myself, would you recommend doing that first thing in the morning when you're lying? And is it a physical touch that you do, or is it a more energetical above your body? Like, why don't you give the audience just the little...
Well, I would tap, I would do... Yeah, with medium pressure circles, with using as much as you can of your palm, because we literally have so many receptors on our hands and on our chest.
And I invite everybody doing that.
It's good for your brain. And simultaneously, if I were you, I would just say, I love you. And you can close your eyes and breathe awareness to your heart, to your lungs, while you're feeling, I love you. And we can also sing. We can sing, I am love, I am love, I am love, I am love, I love you. And you can serenade yourself, and you could do this in the shower. Every time you take a shower, we have to be in there anyway. So have your love shower. Put on music that you love to listen to. You could play Endless Love by Lionel Richie and Diana Ross and massage yourself in the shower.
I love this. I love the word love shower. So I would recommend you try that out. And sound is so important because it's really a vibration as well. And when you sing to yourself, for most of you might sound really weird to sing for yourself, but
my body's happy. My body is going to be healthier, and I'm going to get that natural immune boost. And if I don't like my thighs, if I don't like my belly, then I'm literally causing stress hormone to be released in my body. So that's what I tell my clients is, don't you want to be your best friend, your biggest lover, your greatest supporter? Because that helps your immune system. It helps your sleep. helps your sex life, it helps your brain function. So you may as well surrender, because the physiology benefits, the physiological benefits, it makes sense, right? And so I talk science to get people motivated to love themselves also. And it feels good. It feels good.
Oh, it feels good. Yeah, it feels so much better. Oh my God. I mean, it didn't happen overnight for me either, but it's
just talking about it makes me feel good.
Yeah, it's just like it's sensual, it's sexual,
Yeah.
and you know, I really.
And it's not about it happening overnight.
No,
It's
exactly.
not about that. It's just like when we date someone, it's not about let's get married right now and let's just be perfect partners right now. Life is not like that. When a tree grows, the little buds come out, the other leaves die. So nature is not fast happening. It's cultivation. You know, we got to put a lot of fertilizer, and sometimes we have to have a lot of oopses to grow stronger. And so life to me today is really about, how can I come back into this situation as love? How can I be forgiveness, acceptance, compassion, and love in this situation? That's how I live now, is coming back to those four: love, acceptance, compassion, and forgiveness, instead of hurting myself, you know, saying things that are mean. And if I catch myself doing that, then I'll breathe and I'll just say, how can I show up as love? Because love is what I am. Love is what I am. So I let my ego have less control of me now at this age than I did before, when I mean, really, it was all ego, you know, like, and that's okay.
Judgment.
Like, my ego is there to show me the contrast of my soul. I love my ego too, but I can't let my ego control my life, because it's mostly fear-based and it's really not what I really am. And that's where the breathing and the massaging and feeling myself reminds me that I'm one with all. I'm interconnected with everyone, and I'm not separate. So that's why I love to do a lot of this somatic work about embodying awareness.
Yes.
Because then we're like, wow, I'm more than just this identity I have that I'm a mom, or that I'm a therapist, or a daughter. And I am breath. I am an experience of life, creation happening through me. And that's so much more of an exciting way to perceive myself.
Absolutely. And Michelle, I have a question. I don't know if it's possible or not, but I just had an idea, because I'm also a very physical person, and I know how important it is, and how disconnected we often are from our own body, and how massage and body work helps. So, but not everybody has someone, or, you know, can even afford it or whatever. It's like, do you have like a little practice or something that you can show the audience how you can touch yourself, give yourself a little massage or something? Is there something that they can do that you can guide us right now? It's very short. They can extend it there.
Yes.
Would you like to do that with us?
And yes, of course. And I just want to mention, people can go to my YouTube channel, Michelle Alva TV, and my website, michellealva.com, because I have free guided meditations that you can literally be guided on these exercises. But right now, what I would love to do is the belly. Is it okay for me to stand up? And
absolutely. If you want to show your belly, I'm happy to see your belly.
The tummy.
Stay tuned.
Oh, well, I mean, I'm just going to do this. You're so funny. I mean, I can lift because I am home, you know. But what I would do is, this is the part of the body where all our organs are. And literally, you can put the word love on your hand. Just say the word love.
Get up and
unconditional love. Put that on your hand. And then literally, you're painting unconditional love, whatever color unconditional love feels for you. And you can take deep breaths. So we're going to breathe. And then exhale. Inhale, expand your belly. And exhale. Feel the expansion of your belly when you breathe in, and your chest expands also. So expand, massage, and feel unconditional love. And you can also think about what you love the most. Who do you love the most? What things do you love the most? This way you're inviting the feeling of unconditional love more. Sometimes to think about loving our belly, that's like way over there. So then you want to have that feeling come in first. It might be your puppy that you love, or it might be your mom, you know, and you're thinking about her. So you get those feelings, and then you put that feeling into your organs. And there's this transfer of feeling into your organs. So you'll associate, then it's easier to love your belly. And remember, why not? It benefits me. My hormones are going to be more healthy. My immune system, I'm going to sleep better. My digestion is going to be improved. I'm going to focus better when I'm in love and doing this type of practice. And the other thing is, you can start off by asking, how do I feel about my belly? And let that truth come up. Because sometimes people tell me, oh, I don't even want to think about doing that, Michelle. And I'll say, well, what's true for you now? How do you feel about your tummy? What's the truth? And then people start to say words like, oh, I think it's ugly. And they'll start to cry. And that's really important for us to be in our truth about what we feel about our belly. That's actually the first step to healing that and transforming it. And that's kind of the thing where they say the alcoholic person, the first step is awareness. The first step is actually acknowledging that you are an alcoholic or that you're addicted to alcohol. So that's the first step. Look in the mirror, assess, how do I feel about my belly? How do I feel about my body? What's true for me? And then breathe awareness, unconditional love, and massage those parts that are the hardest to love. Pick one area. It could be your thighs. Maybe, this part of my arm as I get a little older is a little different. So this is
I know what you're talking about.
Extra love in my body. So I'll literally do these kind things to those ones that I notice myself getting off the love train, going in the judgment train. So how can I show up as love to my arm? I just had this thought that, this arm is heading south a little more as the years go by. But I love you, so giving my body reassurance. So this is not about being perfectly loving all the time. It's about when I notice myself judging, notice myself getting off the love, acceptance, compassion, forgiveness train, how can I come back on track? Because that's what we are. We are love. And when we love, we thrive. When we judge, criticize, analyze, we literally stress ourselves out because we're love. The body hurts when we judge, criticize, analyze ourselves and others.
Yes, you're so right. And it really hurts. And that's why we are in pain, because we are so critical with ourselves. And thank you for doing this little exercise. I hope you actually did that. I was doing it. And it's so interesting because my belly was always, I judge basically everything. But one of the things that I really didn't like at all always was my belly, because it was always too big. And I always thought the perfect belly, or what is sexy, is a flat belly, right? So I always hated my belly. So that, and if you feel the same, just start with it, because in my experience, and I would like to hear your experience, I was so obsessed about how my body looks and how it should look. And, I didn't enjoy my sexuality in the past when I was younger. And I always thought, oh, my body is so ugly. Who in the world would like to have sex with me? It's ridiculous actually now when I say it, but that was my life. And in my experience, the other person is not obsessed about it. The other person doesn't care. Do you have 5 pounds more? Does this wobble here? Or it's not about how we look, but we are so obsessed with it. Would you agree? Do you have the same experience when you also work with people?
Yeah, well, me personally, I've been thin my whole me personally, I've been thin all my life. I've never had weight issues. But what I noticed is I was very critical of my body because my legs are really thin. My brother used to call me chicken legs, and I have hips, so I wanted to be like this narrow American, but I'm Latina. So thank God for J-Lo, But what I want to say is when I switched over to defining myself as a soul in a body, and as I opened my heart to love and acknowledging that I'm loved. So today I'm not so stuck on my looks as I am. I don't feel myself as a body. I don't objectify myself like I used to. I feel myself as a soul that breathes and expands, because I do that every day, this fulfillment breathing technique that I created and I teach all my clients. There's a video for that on YouTube, fulfillment breathing. So I feel myself as a breathing, expansive being, a breathing, expansive goddess that is delicious, that belly dances, that sings, that's creative. I feel myself more like that rather than a white, Hispanic, curly haired, whatever, I don't feel myself like that. Like I don't define who I am based on my looks. For whatever reason, like I just feel myself more as this flowing person that breathes a lot, that's very breath aware.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And that's the joy, because then you're connected with you, like I don't do that anymore either, but I did for a lot of years in my life. Right. And of course we are very conditioned with TV and magazines and all that stuff that, we listen to, and we're kind of brainwashed a little bit how we should look. And the truth is that, and I'm just, for those women out there who believe that men are just looking for this perfect body and skinny and blonde or whatever, and there's nothing wrong with being skinny and blonde at all, but I'm just saying that we think that's what they want, and we try so hard to adapt to an idea that we don't even know. And it's not the truth, by the way. Like in my experience, it's not. Like it's about how you feel, how you be,
the more you feel delicious.
Exactly.
Men love that.
Yeah.
It's so true. It's like you're a magnet and you don't even have to wear makeup. It's funny because I went on this date a couple of years ago and I purposely wore no makeup because I know that it doesn't matter. Like the days that I'm the most juiciest, like if I made myself orgasm in the morning, I do my ritual to love my body up, and then I would go out. Those are the days that you get hit on the most. You're glowing because you're this orgasmic feeling person. People, they don't even have to look at you. We are so energetic and we feel, and men feel too. And so I know that that's not the reason why people are attracted. I'm living proof of that. And so I don't base so much the weight. Like I want somebody to love me for who I am. I don't want them to love me just for my face, because that's going to change.
Yes, we're going to get older.
So
yeah, no, I appreciate you saying that. And I really want to emphasize something so that you don't misunderstand what I'm saying. I'm not saying do it so that other people like you or men are attracted. What I'm saying is it is often a pain of us that we think the other person, and then we try to achieve something. But when you feel good about yourself, when you're sensual, when you had what you described it, that's what is attractive, not the physiology or it's your energy, right? And we are living proof of that. And I'm an energy therapist. I really know what I'm talking about. And here, look at Michelle. I mean, you might think, but she's so pretty, and look at her hair and everything. It's true. She's beautiful, but it's the energy. It's why, because she is sensual and she's with herself. Right. So I'm just, it's just joyful to
I'm at peace. I'm at peace with myself. Yeah.
Say that again, please.
Yeah. Believe me, it's a life journey. It's a life process. This is my best year.
Yes, it is.
Every year, like I love the years because I have more years behind me that I've made mistakes that I can learn from, that I can then grow from. So life gets more exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. And life gets better and better when you work on yourself and you love a little, because we're getting older. I mean, when I was young, and I had weight issues all my life, and I was in this, but when I was young and I had this beautiful skin and I was gorgeous when I was young, but I hated myself. I thought I was fat and ugly all my life. And now you get older, you get wrinkles, your skin is not like, it's like, if you don't love yourself now, it's not going to get easier. So connect within, and really get in touch with the goddess.
Love is the best anti-aging.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
And Michelle,
love is the best anti-aging product.
It is, totally it is. And Michelle, what I was just saying, I could talk with you for hours, so many experts, it's just so amazing. But I don't want to miss to tell our people out here that you also have a gift for them today, and they can click the link below underneath the video. Yes. They can access that. But why don't you share briefly what it is and how it benefits them?
If you go to michellealva.com, you can download a free 20-minute guided exercise to empower your center, your belly area, your organs, and ignite your soul's joy to connect to the authentic person that we are, the person that really we're aligned with our heart and soul. It's a very powerful guided exercise, and it's one of the 7 audios in the Transform Fear to Freedom 7 chakra audio course that I've created for online for people all around the world to experience connection with the different parts of their body that correlate with the chakra system. And so one of them is about opening your throat, opening the sensual side, grounding, feeling safe, opening our hearts. A lot of us are walking around with closed hearts. We've been hurt, and we resist opening up to a new relationship. So it's a powerful way to also connect to your intuition. And that one guided meditation you can get for free at my website, and just put your email there. I love that one. That one I listen to a lot myself, and I have to say, like, I know it's part of the reason why I feel very connected and beautiful in my center. And I have an 11-year-old daughter, and I think it's important for us moms to definitely, massage tones your skin, and massage makes your body feel more connected and tight. You know, it really brings your tissues in. And I think that's an important part of our body. And it's amazing what touching yourself, doing this exercise every other day, I think is really empowering. And I'd love to hear how people benefit from it.
Yes,
if you want to email me at
absolutely. Yeah.
Michelle
And
at
thank you
the
so
website.
much. Yeah, thank you for offering it. And you know, it's if
Thank you, Sonia.
yeah,
Thank you for having
the
me.
link underneath the video, you get directly to her page, and check it out and start doing it. And you start simple, you know. And if you don't want to touch your belly yet, touch your arm. You know, it doesn't matter. And I for a period of time, because you mentioned it, I did also hug myself in the morning. And I think, and even though I know it's weird in the beginning, but why don't we all hug ourselves at the end of this video, this interview? What do you think, Michelle?
I love it.
Yeah, and you out there,
I love it.
I mean, just do it with us. It doesn't matter if it's weird or not. Okay, shall we do that? Michelle, you want to guide us, maybe?
Yes, let's wrap our arms around ourselves and give ourselves a big squeeze of love, feeling so grateful for ourselves.
Oh.
There's only one of us in the whole world. Yes. Yay! Love you. Love, love.
I'm curious. Let me know out there. Did you do it, and how was it? Send me an email. I would really like to hear from you. Michelle, it was such a pleasure having you. Thank you for everything that you shared with us. I think it's such an important topic, and all that you shared with the, you know, the sexuality, with the touching yourself, the orgasm, the sexual trauma, like everything. And out there, start touching yourself in whichever way feels good to you. Get the free gift. And Michelle, is there a last word or sentence that you want to share with the audience before we bring this to a close?
To breathe in life to the fullest, take the deepest, fullest breaths, because that's oxygen, giving yourself love, life. So if people don't know how to breathe with their diaphragm and fully, go to my website and look at fulfillment breathing. I think that's the greatest gift we could give ourselves, the gift of full life, oxygen, energy into our body fully, and experiencing how grand and magnificent we are.
Thank you, Michelle. Breathing, that's so important. And thank you out there for being here with us today. And remember, tomorrow is another amazing interview. Stick to it. Keep doing, keep coming back, keep listening, watching, and doing all the exercises that we do with you. I'm your host, Sonia Bueno de la Torre, and I can't wait to see you again tomorrow. Much love. Bye, Michelle. Thank you. Bye-bye.